Hey, what's up, guys? Scary Monsters again. Monster Memories. I don't know what the difference between this is, but this is still a Scary Monsters, the spring edition. Okay, this one's focusing on the Frankenstein. Let's look at this back cover, man. Nice. Just the art. I guess this is obviously based off of photos, but the way it's done is just really nice little collage of. In this one, the lesser known Frankenstein films. Of course, Frankenstein is. Uh, if I have never mentioned it, the Mary Shelley novel is extremely. You can say it's not underrated, but it really is a great freaking book. Man. I remember reading it. It was just I was younger, and then in my goth phase, it was just like wow, man. Of course, the films. Oh man, I remember one of my favorite Frankenstein films was Frankenstein Conquers the World. So of course we get the monster kids, right? Four monster kids by monster kids and survives solely by voluntary submissions. I keep going over that because it really is amazing that this is essentially a fanzine with the professional level that it's done at. It's a nice. It really is amazing that this is on the stands. I hope they're doing okay. Okay, I remember the last issue they had mentioned. Of course, the mail orders are going down. I keep mentioning the Monster Kid demographic, the Boomer demographic is fading away. Here's an example, right? The letter, fan letter. I'm saying things that I didn't know here. Did you know, right? There was a half hour was a proposed horror anthology series hosted by Vincent Price, similar to Boris Karloff's Thriller, right? Would have started a few episodes. Unfortunately, only an unpaired pilot episode was filmed, right? The episode is archived on YouTube, right? So you can actually see this show, the Vincent Price series you've never seen. I didn't even know. This one here, this BBC show. I have heard about this on the Proper Horror Show YouTube channel. Check her out. This anthology series so disturbing. It was canceled only after 6 episodes. Right? It was a transfer from a 16mm film. It's also on YouTube because a lot of these British shows, apparently, the transfers and the shot on videotape, they were wiped clean so that the stuff could be reused. So there's a lot of stuff that's lost. Apparently, this is a pretty grim little story here. Stuff like that. This is you're always finding out something new. Invariably, it's just amazing. Anyway, I'm not gonna go over everything. Of course, the famous monsters of filmland. Now, I never knew this magazine. I don't think I even have an old issue of this. They tend to they fetch a pretty price. But the artwork they're going over, particularly the Basil Gogos. I remember seeing him at Chiller. And this artist here, Albert Nutzel, right? Great artwork. I'm not gonna go over everything. I want to keep it a little shorter here. Of course, King Kong. Now, this guy writes an article about growing up. The original King Kong, which was always on where I lived on Channel 9, never played where he lived. He had only seen the King Kong, right, the Rankin and Bass King Kong show, the animated series that King Kong Escapes, the Toho film, was based on. I've never seen. So, and I'm a big fan of King Kong Escapes, but it's ironic that it's a switch here. He finally saw this film, and going over it. Oh, that's right, New York. Oh, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I am pro King Kong. I told you, just like most people, most kids, you watch King Kong, right? It's just unfair. Right? We feel for him the most. The fact Willis O'Brien, there he is. The fact that they were able to evoke pathos in a stop motion model. Of course, this is not King Kong. That's my other boy right there, Mighty Joe Young. Oh, someone's got to do an article on that. But the fact that you feel emotional for this stop motion puppet, essentially, it just shows you the magic of that movie. Anyway, going through. I don't want to cover everything. I want you to get this. I don't want the 550s Frankenstein. I've seen some of these. I haven't seen all of these. I haven't seen this one where Lon Chaney Jr. plays Frankenstein monster in the show Tales of Tomorrow. Of course, Tales of Frankenstein. Right? This is sort of there's a hammer connection to this film. Teenage Frankenstein. I saw this. It wasn't as good as Teenage Werewolf, of course, but the best film on this list here. I had seen this in pictures. I never saw this film until relatively recently. Frankenstein's daughter. This movie is so crazy, and of course, this is the idea that this is. They refer to this thing as if she. It's like some big lug with lipstick on. Apparently, they didn't realize that in the script, so they put like some lipstick on this mug, this movie. Actually, it's great. It's just crazy film. So and this dude, this Keir Starmer looking dude, is like such a bastard. So it's a fun movie. I recommend, right? And they, as I always mentioned, you can watch it on Tubi or YouTube. This one, Frankenstein 1970, of course, came out in the 50s. I saw part of this on television, but I haven't seen this whole film. But I definitely want to see what's Karloff. I love Karloff. And there's not really a lot to add critically at this point. I mean, we're going over stuff that's been, I'd never heard of this show. Apparently, this is a big deal. Milton the Monster. I never heard of this show. Right? Never seen it. Never heard of it. I mean, a game, right? Okay, now we get into in terms of obscure Frankenstein. Frankenstein meets the Space Monster. This film, crazy. This is what I'm talking about. Crazy, fun, just amazing, just bizarre, weird. Right? Of course, in this case, Frankenstein is actually an android. This guy here he looks like a human, but he's an android. And this dude, this dude, and this woman, basically the scientists. But when he goes up into space, because it's still not safe for humans, these aliens, the aliens blast them as they're trying to steal women from Earth. It's a crazy movie. Shot in Puerto Rico, and eventually this Frankenstein, right, who's really just this kind of deformed android. He goes on a rampage, but eventually he fights the aliens, and it's cool. You get a monster mash, and you get this thing. He fights this monster. It's a crazy movie. So this is like a Mystery Science Theater type film. Right here, right. It's the worst. It's on the top. So many of the ridiculous worst movie of all time list, and I don't understand it. To me, a movie belongs. Any on such list must be boring. And Frankenstein meets the Space Monster is never boring. Exactly. Thank you. Anyway, okay, talk about film. Yeah, this of course this Al Adamson. Everyone's familiar with this guy, Al Adamson. This most of the footage of this movie, Dracula vs Frankenstein, right, had nothing to do with Dracula and Frankenstein. It was some other thing. Russ Tamblyn was in it. There he is, Al Adamson, and then they took the footage like 2 or 3 years later, and they added all this Dracula vs Frankenstein footage in it. What do I think of the film? It's a fun little film. Of course, I am severely disappointed and angry, like a horror nerd would be, in the fight. Right, the fight. I'll give the spoiler away. Right. The fight isn't even close. Dracula rips off both of the monsters' arms off and then his head. Okay, but of course, in that fight, the sun comes out and then he succumbs right to it. I was like, when I saw that, I was like mad. I said, no way, dude. I mean, I like Dracula, but I'm a Frankenstein dude, right? Hell no. What the hell, man? That got me mad. That got me mad, dude. I don't like that. So, I mean, that now it's like, of course, it's just like, it's so crazy, but I hated that. Another film that was on TV a lot, this is an Italian film, Lady Frankenstein, Signora Frankenstein. And of course, this crazy Frankenstein monster. This movie was violent as hell. I mean, it's a Euro horror, right? This is a Euro horror film. So, of course, there's a cut sex scenes in it. And of course, she's trying to kill everyone. I thought it was cool that she makes like the father made a monster like this, but she makes kind of like she transfers this guy she likes into this new body to fight this. He's superhuman to fight this creature. Man, I'll tell you, man, this monster, man, he rampages. He kills a lot of people in this film. There's no joke, but yeah, I thought this was a great film. I can't believe it was on TV all the time. And of course, this one, Blackenstein, right? Blackenstein. And it sounds really, like Blackula, right? Blackenstein. Yo, this movie's awesome. It is on YouTube. You can watch it. There he is, Blackenstein. It's interesting, and the end is pretty gory too. But this is a lot of fun. I need to see the Black Doctor Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Okay, it looks like a kung fu film where he's fighting pimps in the club. Know what I'm saying? So the Dan Curtis Frankenstein with Bo Spencer. I've never seen this. And I always confuse this with there's another Terror of Frankenstein where you had another blonde-haired creature, but apparently it's an Irish film that used to be on Channel 9 all the time. But I've never seen this. I keep hearing that this is really, really good. Of course, the Dan Curtis Dracula with Jack Palance. I had seen that recently. That was really good. It's almost never mentioned. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Of course, Mary Shelley Frankenstein. Oh, Bobby D, hey. All the New Yorkers, the Italians hate you now, huh? Maybe you should keep your mouth shut. All right. We'll get into that. This was Kenneth Branagh, right? And of course, you think Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. So Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. This was a great film, man. When I saw this, man, I thought this was awesome. With what's her name? Oh, what's the actress's name? The one that married Tim Burton. Yeah, she did a really good job of this, man. The character, what happens to her, man? Whoa, brutal. Anyway, party rights there. So I'll wrap this up, with two other things here. You got Aquanauts, right? Arkham Reporter, of course. The cheat monster challenged the world, but remember this, man. Remember Mysterious Island? They showed this movie all the time on the 4:30 movie. The sequel to, right, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This was a really good movie, man. Of course, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Of course, the Nemo, like the Johnny Quest episode which is basically a William Hope Hodgson story. And getting into the submarines, I know. Like, of course, look at this awesome. Look at this Remco Voice to the Bottom of the Sea View subset. Bro, look how awesome that is. It shoots torpedoes. It has a monster. It has a whale. Action figures. Of course, everyone forgets Fantastic Voyage, right? The Gold Key comic adaptation. The Proteus, right? The Proteus. That little submarine that goes in the body, right? Oh, that'll play. Remember how he dies? That's the best actor. When you're craving, screaming as you die. That's the role nobody wants, but that's the best role. And we'll go through the monster renaissance of the 90s, because I guess I was there for what I remember. This is when Universal really started pushing their copyright, man. And I remember Marks, the good Marks, right? The ones that made these toy soldiers. I think I remember these. Right, I remember these. These were pretty cool. So, of course, David Scull, right? He passed away, on the first day of 2024. Well, he was killed in a drunk driving accident. Illuminator model kits. Yeah, these were creepy, right? Very kitschy. Yeah, you like that kitschy stuff. The Aurora models, but these neon colors are kind of crazy. Of course, Scary Monsters, right? Came out in the 90s, early 90s. Trying to think what else. They got, like I said, the copyright stuff. The Universal really started, they wouldn't stop, right? They had the postal stamps. I remember this when this came out. Wow, it was 97. So I remember that's when I was rocking American Psycho from the Misfits when they had reformed. Man, that was a good time. And Yeah, basically the 90s. The 90s was like a dream. Oh, dude, wait, real quick. I remember these Burger King's kid meal figures. Right. This was leading up to, I don't know, I was still watching wrestling, and they had commercials for these. These were really cool. I remember, I know you're an adult. At the time, I shouldn't have been getting kids' meals, but they had these figurines. I bet you they go for stuff, man. They were pretty cool, man. The monster figures. Oh, the Wolfman. And that's about it. Great issue. But just real quick, the Italian. Everyone, no one knows who did the Shaw Brothers films. I still don't know the names of those voice actors, but these are some of the Italian horror film and film actors, dubbers that you would hear all the time in the Italian films. So, and that was them, man. Salute them. So I think they're all not with us anymore, but the dubbing of the Italian films were very distinctive voices. And of course, Ultra Q, right? Ultra Q. This was Surabaya show. This was basically kaiju, like kind of outer limits stuff, right? With the narration. I have the collection of this. This is really cool, man. Really, really cool. So imagine Ultraman, but you don't have Ultraman yet. So you just have kind of a recurring cast trying to deal with these monsters. So, Garurumon, right? Like Garurumon, of course, now is like kind of a cute character, like a little kaiju. In Ultraman, he was in the episode where he was on the island, but in Ultra Q, Garurumon, in 2 episodes, this was like a destructive robot, giant robot. But of course, Garurumon now is kind of like a kawaii, cute kind of creature. So yeah, Ultra Q is awesome. And also being in black and white, it's kind of like I said, it's just interesting how they have to defeat these things without having a giant superhero like Ultraman to help them. Oh, Ragon. Anyway, enough. Great, Elsa Lanchester. Great issue. And the next issue is gonna be the Evil Kids issue. Oh, remember this one? Remember this? The guy sticking to the brick wall as he's trying to lay the bottom. Remember? Anyway, leave it. That's for next time. Yeah, man. Monsters. We're all monsters. Where's my monster drink? Oh, it's late at night. Not yet.